Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is Ship Updates. Now of course we just got back from Christmas break, so there's not going to be a whole lot going on, but we did get some important information and I think it's worth passing it along. Now first of all, Captain Xylo posted some updates, so if you have an 890 jump, you're going to be getting an 85X as a loaner, as an additional loaner for that ship. I think right now, what is it? It gets you the Connie, but now you're going to have an 85X along with that to fill in for the 85X, which normally sits on your 890 jump. Also, the Vanguard Hoplite has been made a loaner for the Prowler and the Redeemer. So, because those two ships, obviously the Prowler, are not flight ready, you'll have a Vanguard Hoplite to use in the meantime until those two ships get finished. And also, if you CCU to a Caterpillar, you will have access to the large Revel in York hangar, so that you can, kind of bring the ship into that hangar and walk around it, check it out in the hangar, and more or less, just mess around with the interior and whatnot if you don't want to actually have to load into the full game. But you can also do that in free flight, so not really that big of a deal. Now, moving on from that, we did get a little bit of an update for the wire snag Cutlass. The Cutlass, as you can see here, this is, of course, the updated version that Josh Coons is working on. And it's definitely coming together, and hopefully sometime soon we'll be able to fly that ship around. Now, of course, 3.0 is the next big patch that we're waiting for. Who knows, maybe in the meantime, if some stuff is finished, they might put it in. But overall, probably we're going to have to wait for 3.0 for this ship. So hopefully sometime soon. But, I think after the wait that we had for 2.6, it's a lot more responsible to say it's probably going to be a little bit of, a little while before we get our hands on 3.0. Now, of course, that was it for this week. But I didn't really see the point of having just a 2-minute long ship update, so I decided to include some extra stuff. Now, I put a little short blurb of a video out on Twitter earlier this week, and last week on the Piracy Show, I was talking about it a little bit. Is that the Pirate Edition, Cutlass, the Caterpillar, was, it had no longer, you could no longer get it in the store. You could earn the badge, but you couldn't get the ship. And I was saying, I hope they bring it back because it was supposed to be for 2 weeks. Patch only came out on the 23rd, yada, yada, yada. You get what I'm saying. And yep, they did. They brought it back, and so I put out a little video, and I said, hey, I got my Caterpillar. I'm really happy with this. But I haven't really done a video kind of talking about the Caterpillar, and so I figured, though the plan was to do that for Monday, I said, you know what, since obviously we're not going to get anything this week, or really not that much in terms of updates this week, I would put this portion of the video out today on Friday. So here we go. Now, the Outlaw Cutlass, or, what is it? The Cutlass, the Cutlass, right? I keep saying the Cutlass. The Caterpillar Pirate Edition is a really cool ship. I really, really like it. And, the truth is it's kind of an interior-exterior skin. For now. That's what it is. Now, could it change in later iterations? Could, say, the standard Caterpillar be more of a cargo-focused ship with the option to upgrade in certain ways, and maybe the Pirate Edition will be more combat-oriented in the future? Maybe they might change out some of the cargo modules for equivalent value cargo modules, say like a barracks for your crew or something like that. Who really knows? But for right now, it is pretty much just an interior-exterior skin and a name on the ship itself. Now, the video that I'm showing you is my second attempt to get some footage of this ship. Now, my first attempt was a couple of days ago, and I actually flew. I went to Port Olisar, and I said in local chat, I said, "Hey, you know what? I want to test out this ship. I'd like a couple of guys to hop in my ship, get in the turrets, and I want to go around to some of the communication satellites and try to shoot down some NPCs. I want to see how this all works out, because basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to fly the ship around in third person and let a couple of guys operate my turrets and just see if they could shoot down any NPCs. But unfortunately, that didn't work out, as a third hitchhiker on my ship, as soon as we got out of, the weapons safe area, or what is it, the armistice zone, he basically ran around the ship and started murdering my new crew members. So that wasn't going to work. And then while I was flying around the system, I got really kind of, it's the harsh light that comes off of this star that I wasn't really into. And so I came over here to Yella, to the dark side of the moon, to hopefully get some darker and some much more, kind of moody footage, rather than just this harsh white glare glinting off of everything. And it really worked out. But when I was coming over here, all of a sudden I started noticing this flashing and hearing this little bit of music playing in the background, or just this weird transmission in the background. And it almost sounded like in the old Homeworld games. Sometimes you would hear like a little bit of the music and some odd, sounds in the background. It kind of reminded me of that. So I started heading towards that. And so, in as much as I kind of wanted to get some footage of just kind of flying around with the ship and then talking about the ship, this mystery ensued. And so I wanted to go check this out. And so I started getting some footage of it while I was heading there. And I have to really say that I hope that in a future version of the PU, or the baby PU, or whatever, they really tone down that star a little bit. Maybe make it into like a big red giant, so it's more like a dim red light than this kind of really harsh white light that we're getting right now. But as I was heading over to this little spot over here, kind of following the sound and kind of following the music, I was kind of seeing why they put it with that harsh white light, because it's really hard to kind of make things out with the interior lighting in the cockpit. And I don't know, maybe that's something that they can change in the future, so you can tone down the interior lighting so you can better pick up the things that are outside of your vehicle, sort of like, because it seems like you have a glare on the inside of the windshield. Sort of like if you're in your car driving at night and then someone turns on all the map lights and all that, you get that glare where it kind of messes with your night vision a little bit. And so I don't know, maybe there's going to be an option in the future to just, kind of reach over and flick off all the, all the interior lighting, or just maybe like one of the old, one of the old war movies when they go to battle, and in the CIC, or what is it, the Combat Information Center, in a ship, they flick a switch, and then it's all just like red or blue lights or whatnot. Something like that maybe would be more suitable, but something to think about in the future. But yeah, this is I've noticed these red flashing lights around Yella in different locations, and so I definitely want to go back with the ship now and explore a little more and see what's there, because when I found what was in this spot, I was pretty shocked, and I'm pretty sure I know who was responsible for this, but we'll get into that in a little minute as soon as we get to that portion of the footage. Now, recently with the Caterpillar, there's been some controversy in the front prongs on the ship, which in some artwork kind of looked like weapons or possibly tractor beam. And then subsequently we found out just recently that they are purely decorative at this point, and that there really aren't any plans to change that as of right now. Now, I'm not overall that disappointed by it, and the reason for that comes from this article here. This is from a Clean Shot post on March 5th, 2013, and here's the direct quote about the Caterpillar. "You might say the offensive capabilities are a little light. You're right. it ain't going to be winning any dogfights anytime soon. But what you lack in offense is more. What you lack in offense, it more than makes up for in defense options. If you need this thing to take a beating and ask for seconds, it can. Again, it's all about the option combinations. Now, of course, that text doesn't really point to any certain things, but it does kind of give you an idea of what direction they're heading with this. So it could very well be that the Caterpillar itself is going to end up being a very, very tanky vessel in later builds of the game once everything is more or less finalized. And I'm pretty okay with that, you know. I'm willing to see how that all pans out for the prongs in the front and for the ship itself. And I have to say that now that I've been out exploring a little bit with this ship on my own and having my own little adventures like this little exploration here with the ship, I've been enjoying it. You know, I really, really have been enjoying it. And this is the happiest I've been with a ship launch, I think, ever in the game. Is it 100% perfect? Is it, you know, do I wish there was more here? Oh, absolutely, I wish there was more here. But considering the previous ships that have been released, I'm very happy with this. And, you know, having that text to refer back to, of course, is a nice thing to have in your pocket when you're dealing with CIG later on, if things aren't turning out quite the way that you think that they should. Now, here's what I found. And actually, that was a pretty damn precise parking job. That's one of the things that I want to explore again at some point, is I want to get some people into the gun turrets and see how it works in third person. But yeah, shit, that's actually a pretty damn precise parking job, if I do say so myself. But here's what I found around Yella. It looks like it is a Stonehenge made out of, well, at first here I was kind of looking around to see if there wasn't any, like, you know, any treasure or anything like that to be found around this thing. So I was like, it can't just be this Stonehenge made out of Big Benny's vending machines. There's got to be something here to steal, something cool apart from this. Because I was like, okay, I think I know who made this thing. This has got to be Disco Lando's work, right? Like, it has to be. and then I found this. Poor guy who was making this thing killed himself. And he's just been left to rot in this spacesuit here. I kept looking around because I was like, there's got to be like something else to this. And I was looking, I don't know, is there a switch to hit? Is there, to get money? You shoot the machines? Are you going to get free Big Bennies? I don't know. Is this a monument to anti-commercialism in deep space? I have no idea. But it was pretty damn cool to find something like this. And I know I've seen some of these other flashing lights in and around Yella, so I'm going to go and explore some more of these after I get this video finished and uploaded. But yeah, that was a pretty cool thing to find, and I don't know, being in my Caterpillar just made it a little bit cooler. I have to say, I was disappointed to not find the hacking booths, or I'm pretty sure I found some new booths in in Grim Hex, but I couldn't seem to interact with them. And here all of a sudden I saw that use thing and I went, oh shit. Is there something I can get? And I think it was just so that I could reload my gun, because my ballistic gun is kind of bugged right now, and I don't know if it's just a question of having to buy ammunition for it all the time or whatnot, but yeah, it seemed that after I did this, my ballistic gun was reloaded, but I don't know. To me, I was kind of hoping that I was going to find a treasure chest here, and all of a sudden I was going to have 20,000 credits or some shit like that. I don't know. But overall, am I disappointed that there's some shit missing from the game that, we thought that we were going to get in 2.6 that isn't here? Yeah, I am. But, I'm willing, of course, to be patient. I mean, at this point, if you're a Star Citizen backer, I mean, if you haven't learned patience at this point, then you've probably already completely gone insane, or just, I don't know, given up and just said, "Oh, I'll come back when there's, I'll come back in a year and check on this game and see where it is. Then I'm just gonna go play something else." But yeah. I'm pretty happy. I mean, do I wish things were going a little bit faster? Yeah, but I have a feeling that once Squadron 42 is finally finished, things will speed up for us. And that's always something to keep in mind, and it's something that I've said before, is that it does get frustrating as a backer to be in this position where you're constantly, looking at the game and going, "Wow, it seems like things are moving slowly. It seems like things are moving slowly." But there's always that element that you have to be aware of, which is Squadron 42. They are technically making 2 games at the same time with some crossover in between the titles, right? Some assets that can be shared, but overall they're still making 2 games at once. And the problem is, and the reason why we think that there's sometimes so little progress being made, is the fact that so much of Squadron 42 is hidden behind the veil of secrecy, because they don't want to spoil it, and they don't want to spoil the ooh and ah when you first log into Squadron 42 and everything, lights up and you go, "Oh my God." And they want to keep as much of that as possible. And, I guess for some people that would be a good thing, but I think that, often when you have interactions with CIG, or when you see videos, and especially not so much lately, but in the old Reverse the Verses, I'm talking like, Midsummer to, all the previous ones, there were times when people were asking questions and the reactions that they got and stuff like that, and they were just like, "Oh, be patient, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be amazing." If there's any one thing that I would kind of hold up and say, this is what CIG does wrong, it's that I feel that the people who are working at CIG, they get to see all this awesome stuff all the time. They get immersed in it. They get to see screenshots and artwork and assets and missions and all this stuff from Squadron 42, all the stuff that's hidden that we don't get to see. So it's kind of very easy when you're in that position, when you get exposure to all those things, to say, "Oh, don't worry, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be awesome." But from a backer perspective, when all that shit is hidden from you, that's a difficult, position to be in. Because you're looking at it and you're going like, "Wow, it kind of feels like this ball really isn't moving down the field that quickly. This feels like things aren't really moving along at the pace that they should be." And it's not because they're not. It's because so much of that work is hidden away behind that veil of secrecy, behind the curtain, so to speak. But anyways, enough random musings for today. That has been the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Quantum travel initiated.